I'm not too sure where.
Well, if you've got a quorum, it's 12:19, so we'll call the meeting to order at 12:19. Remarks of visitors, seeing none, we'll move on. Discussion on content and preferred dates for the Neon Cloud Productions video marketing project.
So I met with the owner of Neon Cloud, I think it was about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, just to kind of go over just how to work their system and start discussing some potential ideas. So, well, first of all, to give you an update on the estimate or on the contract, the total now, it shows almost $17,685, but the city ended up paying that extra $800 because we added additional photos. We were able to get them at a discounted rate, so it was half price of the photos of what they had originally said. But I did ask about the other video that we have, the 2 to 3 minute video we already have, to see if we could take parts from that to maybe drive the price down. But they said that they do two different, they did widescreen video back then, and now it's a higher resolution. So they said it would actually probably be more work and cost more for them to go back through, edit that, and bring it back up.
Try to scab it all together.
Well, we want it to look nice, so.
We
Yeah.
just wanted to ask, you know.
Well, I tried on that end, but the city is covering the extra $800 for those extra photos, because I know we get discussed up that photography package up while they're out here, just because we can start using that for marketing and like magazines and trade magazine type collections and whatnot, possibly in the future.
So are they gonna send those to you on a drive or a USB something or whatever, so Johnny can use them and?
Yeah.
That'll be good.
And so, and I made sure too, because they said that we're not allowed to edit the photos, but I wanted to make sure that we can put our logo on them, and like our website and stuff, and to kind of switch it up, and they said that's fine, it's just like editing the quality of it, so we're good on that end. And, so when I met with Brian from the company, he gave me a list. We get 15 shot locations, and he gave me kind of a sample of what another city has done, just so I know how much information I need to fill out in there. And so I guess this is just, wanted to have a discussion on what places we wanted to highlight in these videos while they're here.
Well, you definitely want the subdivision, you know, new housing development.
And I came up with a list of ideas.
Thank you.
Because I know in the last video, they did some of like indoor, like inside businesses, and then also like driving into town. So that was where I said the Highway 6 southbound entrance. And I'm thinking some of these, because I have a list of like 19 so far ideas. Some of those were highlighting the high school, and then wanting to like them to go inside and highlight the CTE program. I'm going to see if I can get that to be considered one location instead of two.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd actually get a picture of either the entrance or a picture of the Washington, Nebraska's museum, just because we're kind of considered the gateway. Or I guess maybe use maybe a picture of our Six Flags display, maybe that one.
Okay.
I don't know, something to connect the west, or, you know, kind of on the, be more on the tourism side, I guess, you know, but.
Yeah, I have on here number 7, August Horse Park, highlighting like so we could do that within that area too, so that could hopefully be a single location.
So is there any way, I bet I see you've got this United Ag on here, is there any way we could kind of do
that?
Yeah, kind of just show, because you've got both of the tractor places are new, you've got the new travel.
Mid-South.
I think that is, I'll just,
Yeah.
I just went, the travel trailer place. You've got, yeah.
Behind Tina's or the park, behind the western.
Well, that too. I didn't think
No,
about
the
Yes, but the,
travel trailer park would be good.
Yeah. But I couldn't
I'll
get
just-
it
I
out.
was with you.
I'm like, oh, where is it?
I'll scratch that out and I'll just see if I can put in there as a location,
You could maybe do the,
Just kind of
Highway
whoosh,
6,
I mean,
yeah.
because there is a lot.
yeah.
and you could do a long shot and catch, probably 2 or 3 of them in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And like with Western, you could do maybe overhead where it looks down on the trailer park,
Because that would just show.
Right
RV
now,
park.
right now, it's full.
I know,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Is that the Renaissance Festival, or what's causing all
I
that?
bet it's a combination of people working and it's just, they're all full, I don't care what RV,
Oh, really?
travel trailer place, RV park you go to,
They're all
they're all
full.
full, so you.
But that one hadn't been that, I mean, it's had some, but I
Maybe
remember
it's
the last 2
maybe
weeks,
it's-
it had ours.
no, they were, those four were
Probably
full.
snowbirds are already heading down here, probably.
Yeah, snowbirds.
Mm-hmm.
And ours is new, and it's, it hadn't, never, been.
And the bar's right next door.
Right.
I mean, that's what I would say.
Eat, drink, and sleep.
Man, that's not a bad deal. I like that list, it looks good to me.
So, also within this, we have how many graphics?
Maybe you can catch Bernhardt Winery in the,
See, like here, they got Jackson
Yeah.
Street on that example, right?
they show a whole street, yeah.
Jackson Street, it says this
Oh,
is, where Market Days is held, trick or treat events, et cetera. So
okay,
we could probably do.
Well, downtown can be shot
yeah,
straight down, pretty,
And then when maybe they're doing the PA Smith Hotel, they could
Put
do
that
that
one in the
street and
downtown.
go into the front door, kind of.
Right.
So then you're showing,
and that can, also, I have moved PA
showing Rail
Smith
Rye on the side and
into
whatever.
the downtown Navasota location, so it's considered one instead of two. I'm gonna try to
I
squeeze them all in.
Try to get as much.
Well, I
in.
mean, they work with really big cities too, and so, I mean,
Yeah.
we're like,
Tell 'em.
I mean.
tell them we're poor. We wanna get everything we can get. Just stick your lip out.
Oh, I also wanted to, I don't know how it got brought up, he was trying to teach me how to upload a image into the system, which I would have been able to figure out, but he's like, okay, you're like, and so I like pulled up the logo for St. Francis Wolf Sanctuary,
Uh-huh.
and he said, do you really have a wolf sanctuary? And I said, yeah, and he said, that would be awesome to put on there because it's unique,
Very unique.
Right, and they use a Navasota address.
yeah, he said that would just, I mean, where do you see that? A lot of,
That's true,
They
that's
did it-
true.
I had some customers come in and they'd just come from there and it's really cool.
I think they had some kind of event, I think, last weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, so, I didn't even.
I'd like to go
I
check
didn't
it out
get to that.
myself, but just, just doing it,
So, we have on here 6 motion graphics. So, that was like when they're adding like the buildings, the fake buildings in the business park to, like, give a visual of what it would look like.
Like on the other one where they had running a machine at Grant or
Yeah,
something.
I can bring up our video so we can watch
Yeah.
it.
Like where it showed the boom and then the building.
So we can
You
prioritize.
can show them beveling a head out at Trinity or doing pressing
A forging.
doing a forging,
Uh-huh.
out at interstate.
I know,
Elwood.
Elwood. I know, it will always be. Lori gets mad at me.
No, where's that?
Or a guy running a machine operator out at Only One.
Might not wanna do
Up in the list.
Yeah.
There we go.
Got that Horlock House Ocean thing. You definitely want City Hall,
Yeah, that was on.
and the overhead that's awesome there. Interest Monument's pretty good too. Art.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, they're doing that, so that'll be good.
uh-huh. They could put HTRI and Mid-South kind of together. Mid-South still gonna do their headquarters here, or have they made a decision?
I'm not aware.
I know they had bought that land. Those are good shots there. That was at Grant, looks like. Airport.
Yeah, I have that on the list.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you can show all the hangars.
Look at that.
Yeah, that was, God,
That was
started.
a long time. It really hadn't been that long
No, it
ago.
hasn't.
2 years, man.
Oh, it gives me chills.
And it wouldn't matter to me if they used that same music, because I'm telling you, that gives you chills almost. I don't know, it's just,
That's motion graphics.
you could still do the CTE and the,
Well, I think for sure one of them that would be good is if when we're doing like an inside tour, well, I'll have to work with the school district to see.
well, you could do the,
But do-
to the welding shop or.
And have them, like with the motion graphics, put like the endorsements that they offer and how many,
Yeah,
like, 'cause
Are
that's,
they teaching underwater welding? I mean,
I don't think underwater, I don't
You-
know.
I don't know if they're doing underwater. I know they're doing a
I
lot.
was talking to
Doing
Terry
welding,
the other
for
day,
sure.
and I thought he said that, but.
This might be completely off topic, but have y'all ever thought about doing a splash pad right next to the pool?
It's been brought up before, but yeah, it's definitely something we,
'Cause our association, they partnered up with the Toro. Toro did a Toro Foundation, and they're going around, they do, like you put your name in the hat, and they
have like a grant you could maybe.
grant type deal, and they group together people to kind of help put it together, and I don't know if that'd be too big of a project for that, but I pitched it to our association, our national association of doing a splash pad here, and wouldn't be possible for 2022, but they said maybe 2023.
a lot of grants out there. How much would it cost?
I haven't.
You don't know, okay, I'll look into that.
I'm gonna be in.
It's probably matching funds, kind of a deal.
No, they kind of do, they provide everything.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
We love that.
That even better. That'd be easy.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'll be in Chicago tomorrow, Friday, so I'll know a lot more.
Yeah, let us know.
I love that
Sure.
idea. I mean, my grandkids are little, I mean, so it's fun to let them do that while the other ones are doing something
Right.
else. That's cool.
I just thought it'd be good right there in that lower part.
In the park,
Pretty cool.
yep.
Where that old wading pool is.
Yeah, yeah, it would. Yes, it would.
Or even
That would be
the
fun.
foyer between the rec center and the.
Oh, yeah, between the rec center and,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
between the pool house and the rec center.
Right.
We have a place,
Like a
so.
plaza. Yeah, we do have a location.
Yeah.
We can find a location,
I'll look into
And the
that.
plumbing, it's already there.
right? Yeah, we'll put a big old sign that says Toro, whatever they want.
Toro splash
And one
pad.
thing I saw in that video that's not on here, they did show St. Joseph's, a lot of people looking at the community like to know that you do.
She's got a hospital.
Yeah, I have it
She's got a,
Eleven.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's
Okay, I see it
definitely.
now, okay, I missed that.
yeah.
The hospital and the Conway and
But yeah, I think you can finagle some more spots.
Oh, yeah.
By combining some of them, yeah.
I just wanted to see if there was anything else that y'all were recommending that I add on here, 'cause I'll do all that I can to get these crunched down.
And do the C-Force, you can put Chuck's little face on there somewhere.
Or his billboard with his 1980 body. All muscled up.
Might even be earlier than that.
Okay, so for the motion graphics, I'll put in the CTE and like endorsement information as one of them with the high school. I think we should do, like, for the highway, for Highway 6 and info on 249, that could be a good motion graphic. Connectivity.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you could probably get some graphics for the highway signs from TxDOT or something, you know, if you wanted
Mhm.
that.
And then, did we want to do the same thing with the business park, showing the opportunity there with, how much acreage is available, and like they did like the fake buildings?
Yeah. Yeah, where it showed what could be. Mhm. 'Cause there's still quite a bit of acres left out there, huh?
And we sold some to Keystone, but now he's having trouble with the highway department, because it was gonna be a warehouse.
Mm.
He's gonna enter, load up, and then
Mhm.
exit, and it's not, they won't give him the 2 driveways. He already bought the land.
Mm. 'Cause he built that big old building on the other side.
Side, yeah. That stands.
But yeah, they kinda did those, where those pictures of buildings going up, kinda with it, out on Highway 6.
So you think City Hall and downtown could kind of be, could that be
Probably.
one, I mean, to kind of get something else in there? You know, we do have a lot going on, so.
Mhm.
Well,
Why don't we just roll all these into one? And then we can do 10 other things.
Oh, yeah, I'll.
she'll beg, she'll do some
I'll do
digging.
it. 'Cause, I mean.
Well, but you know, downtown, that's a big shot. I mean, you gotta be real creative on how to do that one.
Yeah, because there's a lot
'Cause
going
you
on.
wanna you definitely want the end that has all the streetscapes done. You don't wanna because we hadn't got quite finished down here on this end, you know.
And I think it's a good idea to let everyone know it's happening,
Oh, yeah.
because I want to get my signs done and get them up and, you know, make sure everything's clean, you know, that's a plus. We're gonna be,
Yeah,
Sure.
no, I'll definitely be very open and reaching out to everybody.
Yeah, you've got all this
who's
Forest
on the
Park,
list.
you've got this, I don't know about you wanna allude to the fact that, you know, we got this big project coming up, we're gonna be adding some, with the money we just got for the bike lanes, I mean, for the trail or something,
For the sidewalks.
sidewalks that we're adding.
I forgot about that, that'll be nice.
I think that covers it. I definitely get, you know, either Elwood or one of those two, or Grant, for your motion.
Yeah.
We get 6 motion
Well-
graphics and
Mhm.
15 total, 6 of the 15 are motion. Is that right? Is that,
It's the 15 locations total, and then we'll have 6 motion graphics
of the 15?
of the 15. And we have to pick like what, because each motion graphic, they have like 3 to 4 elements in it, and we have to put like the facts, or, as they say, braggable data points.
Might even think about body built. You know, we're gonna do kind of a dirty industrial kind of thing, but then maybe do one that's kind of on the cleaner side that, I know HTRI is not gonna have probably anything that would be motion, but, unless they're at that testing facility, but body built, you could, you know, get maybe a shot of them putting a chair together, or rolling it out off the assembly line or something, I don't know.
So this, y'all are trying to keep it not specific to the city, right? Just out to, in the county as well? I've seen y'all-
Mainly for the city.
Mainly for the city, okay. I mean, y'all had wildflower,
Some of that is-
or bee weaver and stuff.
Yeah, that, I had added those on there just as, like, for like kind of the quality of life
Yeah.
play indicators
Yeah,
stand out.
What we can fund is off of, we get a portion of the city sales tax, so it's, we're promoting Navasota, not so much the county.
Okay, so for the motion graphics with like the data points, so we have business park, highlighting like what could it be? I think the airport would be good again to do.
Right.
With the plane taking off,
Mhm.
yeah.
CTE and endorsement info for the high school, info on 249, and then we have two more.
That's what the jet taking off.
You know, the CTE, you could almost get them to do a four-picture of some of the, like cosmetology, welding, you know, four of the more popular ones maybe on one screen instead of, I don't know, that's just a thought, but.
So you're thinking use one of the motion ones for the high school, just take pictures of the different things happening, or?
Well, I think with the video, like, they can still come in and do all of that, but then the motion graphics is like the words and like the automated visuals that they add to it, so then they could still be coming in and doing all that, and then popping up at the same time as like CTE endorsements offered, boom, boom, boom. Kind of similar with like the airport when it's like flying over and then that information is popping up. So those are what the
Yeah.
motion graphics are,
Okay.
is that information that's popping up at the same
I mean, I
time.
like what they did with that one, I mean, I don't, you know.
Mhm.
Okay, so then for the last two, I'll just go back on that video and kind of see what they had done and take from that. And we have 5 social media clips and 8 social media loops. And I think we had talked, and also maybe another good one would be to highlight residential growth in one of those motion data graphics.
Show one house that's under construction.
So the social media clips, I think we had kind of brainstormed about it a little bit. So these ones, that way we can use them on, like if we want to run advertisements, or if we want to, like do audience targeting on like Facebook or LinkedIn advertising. So, we discussed doing one in downtown, possibility of that, the high school, and the residential growth were the ones 3 that we had kind of been leaning towards, but I just wanted to.
And that's pretty broad, so it covers.
So then we'll have 2 more left.
So you had what now? You had downtown, school.
And residential growth.
You think you should do
Get-
the industry
Oh,
or
yeah.
something, just to show the job potentials? I mean, we do have.
Industry, yeah.
Or in something quality of life,
Okay.
when you think, like a park or. Like Cedar Creek maybe, or.
Okay. And then for the loops, these are 6 to 10 seconds long, so, same,
Just pull things from the other, I don't know, like, you want them to probably be different, huh? Than what you did on the other ones? Not,
I mean, it could, but it could be, like, if we did downtown, it could, because they just want to know which ones we're planning on for the social media, so they know to spend more time in those areas. So the social media clip, if we did one of downtown, then the next, if they did a social media loop, which is the shorter version of, and it loops it continuously, it could be a different shot from downtown highlighting something else, you know? So we could do some of them the same, or we could split them all up and do different. It's just thinking of eventually what kind of marketing we're going to be doing for the EDC and what we're going to be trying to attract.
what do you think?
I think the ones we have, plus doing some sort of different loop maybe. And the info on Highway 6 and 249.
Yeah, and I get a picture of where 249's coming into 105.
Because that'll show our location and how easy it is to get.
So in this one, the newer one, are we gonna have like a map, like
Mhm.
like that one did? Like, here we are and here's everything?
Yeah, we got a two-phase map.
Okay.
And then we also got, the photography package, which I'm assuming we have 20 clips, so we're probably just gonna do one photo from each. And then we'll have a few left over, or extras. Oh, so then lastly on this, I need to send him a few dates so they can book us. And so it's a Monday through Friday, and it's an 8-hour day. So what time of the year works best?
We want it when everything's blooming.
And green.
Yeah, so like
Green flowers.
late March, early April. I don't really know Texas weather completely yet. I'm still accumulating.
No
Probably do
one
it.
knows Texas weather.
Yeah, I think early April.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bluebonnet should still be out, right?
Yeah. Oh, that would be really good.
Yeah.
So like
First I
first
thought
week
it
of
was
April,
Mhm.
second
Yeah,
week, first week?
week of April.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Then I'll just-
when they do that picture of Navasota, you wanna see all those bluebonnets all around the sign.
Okay. Then I'll send him like 3 dates, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, basically, first week of April, and see what they come back with.
Yeah, and of course, you want it on a day that the sky is real blue with clouds, you know, and you never know what,
Go ahead, pencil that in.
Never know
too,
what's gonna happen,
bluebonnet,
but-
sky blue.
Pending weather.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. I think that's all I needed on this, because I just have to start getting this information uploaded to their
In your
system.
quality of life, are we including churches?
that's a good idea, yes.
We have some really pretty.
You're right,
I mean,
totally
they're-
forgot about that, yeah. Primarily, probably I don't wanna
I know.
pick the wrong one, but probably Presbyterian is probably one of the more attractive looking
Yes.
Gothic style. First Baptist is, I mean, everybody's got white columns, you know.
Do we want to do a shot going down Washington with all the homes, Victorian homes, or no?
We do need to get Victorian homes in there.
Yeah, that would be good.
Those are mainly on Washington.
Get the oak trees in the house.
Are they gonna take single pictures, like, we could do, the old Terrell house that Joe King and Monica are in? That one's really pretty, you know, like you said, not all of them are on Washington Avenue, but that's what, I mean, if they veer off, a few of those older homes that are stuck in.
And we want to use one of the photos for that?
No.
How do we market that?
Yeah, probably not. Maybe just down Washington's probably fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely need a church in the mix somewhere in there, 'cause that's something we've got is a really diverse,
Mhm.
like which church was it that's building a new one out on Peoples?
Mhm.
Mount
The name of it, yeah, Mount Calvary. Somebody's building a new one.
Okay. Got about 10 minutes before the next one starts, so I think I'll send y'all an email once I kind of fill this out a little bit, and then I'll just put a deadline of like early next week if you have additional like feedback or comments on it or if there's something I left out, but, that way we make sure we have it all.
And with their experience too, you know, the different things they've worked with,
They know how to.
they might have maybe a suggestion of something we may have missed, you know, that we wanna make sure and broadly cover.
Mhm.
On to the minutes of the previous meeting.
Move we approve the minutes.
Did you already make the motion?
I did.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of October 20th. Any changes or errors? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next, Rena's report.
Okay, so I have a few things today. Last meeting, we had talked about the Navasota Home for the Holidays website. So we went in and updated that, and as of yesterday, the website was live, but today there were some domain issues. So, I'm working on that, but it's up to date now, so hopefully that'll be working properly very soon. Also, I wanted to let y'all know that last year, when we did the Shop Small Business giveaway, we're doing that again this year. And so here's the flyer for it. And so there's details on there, but it's for every $25 spent at any local business between certain dates, people can take pictures of their receipts and turn them in or submit their receipts themselves to enter to win a basket of all things Navasota. So we're going to be getting 2 gift baskets again like we did last year. And last year we had around $9,300 worth of receipts turned in for that. And I think it was from around 30 businesses. And the average amount spent per person was $147. So we're hoping to try to get the word out a little bit better this year, but I mean, it was a pretty good turnout for first year doing it.
When for COVID.
And I spoke with Eric about it, since he's the one that's coordinating Home for the Holidays. And since I'm going to be the one that's doing all the marketing for it, coordinating and organizing and getting in all the receipts, the city will fund the cost of like the baskets, and then we'll be able to co-brand it as the City of Navasota and EDC. So, then also the Navasota received a merit recognition plaque from the Texas Economic Development Council for outstanding achievement in community economic development for the Railroad Street improvements. So I think that plaque is downstairs in the case, but I wanted to let y'all know. And that encompassed the EDC's parking lot, all of the all the private investment, the EDC's contributions, the city, the federal, and the nonprofit grants that we've received as well. So that was really exciting. We also received the People's Choice Resiliency Award for the Pretty City Committee through Texas Downtown Association. So, and that was the one where we had to vote on Facebook, and that one we were competing with populations even greater than 50,000. So to be able to win the People's Choice for that was really exciting.
Wow.
And to get Navasota some recognition. And Bert was talking about it a little bit earlier with the transportation grant that we received. So it was earlier this month we received info from TxDOT that one of our projects for the Transportation Alternatives Program was chosen. So that's the Brozak Avenue sidewalks, and then they're going to be doing a pedestrian bridge over crossing Cedar Creek. And so we were receiving funding for that, which is totaling $784,254. And we were competing with larger cities up to 200,000. So we were in the category with like College Station, Waco, Abilene. So I just wanted to bring that up too, since that kind of ties in with the quality of life that we were talking about, and also the fact that the pedestrian and bicycle plan that was just passed at City Council was a big contributor to that funding, because it backed our project up. So, and then one last thing, sorry, I know the other one's starting soon. I don't know if y'all had heard, Skyline Champion is coming to Navasota. They put out a press release on November 10th. So it's a 270,000 square foot plant in the industrial park, and it's gonna be bringing, over 250 jobs. And so they released that last week.
Where are they gonna live?
Ground Force Building. Oh, with the employees?
Mhm.
Oh, no idea.
I mean, I'm not playing.
So, I mean, they're looking to, and they're like trying to hire local as well, and they're looking to hire right now. So that's something that we're,
Is that at the old Schultz plant?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, that's what it was. It was a manufactured housing plant, so, and that's what Skyline and Champion is, isn't it? That's what they make.
That's nice.
About that kinda come full circle out there.
Yeah.
They got a little better together than the last people did, I think.
Well,
They got multiple locations across the country.
yeah, they're a national company, yeah.
And they got a facility in Canada too, I think.
Mm.
Well, there's probably some of those old guys still from
Yeah, hanging
Schultz
around.
days that are still around, you know.
and that's all I have on my updates.
Where's that pedestrian bridge gonna be? Is it on Bruce?
It'll be on Brochig, right?
I'm in Brosey.
Yeah. Probably next to the bridge, I'm guessing.
I would think so too.
Cause that guy just built a mobile home, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know, but which, is it gonna be on the east or west side?
Yeah.
The guy just spent a bunch of money.
We'll have to, we just received the notification.
I don't-
We'll have to go through all the
The
planning.
design will have to be finalized. You can't make the bridge any more narrow.
No. Just trying to picture.
I don't know whether they were gonna build a whole new
Guy
bridge, or were they?
Just redid that
existing?
moment where, what's his name, had his mobile home, another guy just redid it.
Yeah, and it looks nice, actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe he did that. Eminent domain.
All right, and that's all I have.
Is that it?
Yep.
Close to 1:00.
And now we have the communities as a startup. They'll be here.
I won't be able to stay for
Yeah.
that.
kind of in charge of the Innovation Center.
Hey, Johnny.
Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, no problem.
Good to see you again.
Good seeing you. Sean is
Hi, how are you? I'm Sean.
Sean-
Elizondo. Yeah.
Johnny McNally.
Nice to meet you.
So good to meet you.
Johnny, I'll give you my new business card, and
Thank you.
I reverted from the dean's position in September, and I'm kind of working on economic development projects, and I'll be teaching at the Relish campus in January, so.
You got a card?
Not yet.
Thanks, appreciate it.
So you had to leave your house position, so.
No, I already had
I'm not giving
I
Johnny.
already had
Oh,
a
yeah.
house in San Antonio that I was kind of using as a roofing house, so I'm kind of use that as a base of operations. If I need to go to Corpus, need to go to College Station, and.
So you won't be here every day of the week.
Right, yeah. I'll be teaching, the way they've got my class set up, I'll teach on Wednesdays for 8 weeks in a row. And,
Great.
That's a pretty good schedule.
that is a pretty good schedule, so.
After serving for dean, so yeah, he deserves a good
But all
break
those,
now.
so Sean was the project manager for the college business while I was dean, and my first, well, I think she decided to have another child in order to, be able to have some off time, because the first couple of years I was dean, I don't think she left the office before 6:30 once. And, so if you wanna do a dean's job right, it's pretty demanding, just like anything else, you know. But so about a year ago now, you moved to the innovation, well,
Yeah, just the
9
summer.
months, yeah.
Just over the summer.
So she's the assistant director of the Innovation Center, and I know we got a couple of new people, but, you know, what we do is we focus on small business assistance in Corpus Christi, and then rural economic development, anywhere that the EDA sees, anywhere in the state of Texas that they feel like there's a need. And so different communities we're working with, or, you know, we're talking to, have been you, and then a new one, Gatesville, which is outside of Waco, and then Rockdale, which you're familiar with that, and, so I think we're gonna kind of, you know, if you wanna move forward and they wanna move forward, we'll probably run those kind of concurrently. So anyway, I'll quit talking, so,
You did it, yeah.
Well, I took this chair, but, I mean, if someone else needs to sit at the head, I'm happy to
I'm gonna
vacate
give
this
you
chair.
one of those as well too, just some little background information on the community startup here. And I think Russell and Jean Gamble may have been here once before and did a quick presentation, I don't know. Who else was
I'll
there?
wait till the mayor's back,
Yeah.
and then, Raina, you tell us, I mean, I don't know if you want us to do more listening, or
Yeah,
kind of go through the same thing we did.
Probably.
I printed some of those for you, Brenda, too.
Probably go through the same thing and then just kind of develop to see, if this is something that we're moving forward with, to develop a game plan of kind of who's gonna be taking on what and how we're going to, develop the team and get the word out, and kind of how that's all going to look, because I'm still not really sure on.
So Raina thinks I need to
Okay.
start from scratch, so can I have one of these?
Yes.
Okay, did everyone get? one?
I just gave those to her, that
Okay.
these would, we can give one to everyone, just different photos. They have the same information, just different photos on them. And these you could use to help kind of recruit your main team members, give them a little more information.
Okay, so just to kind of talk a little bit about the mission of the Innovation Center. So I was dean of college business. The Coastal Bend Business Innovation Center is a component of the College of Business, and that's really where we made our societal impact. We do that by assisting small businesses and entrepreneurial startups, and then also working with rural economic development. And we're an EDA university center, and that's why I mentioned that we kind of work where the EDA wants us to work, or they make recommendations. I know we met with someone from the COG the last time we were here. So they work with the COGs, and the COG personnel give them, you know, talk to EDA and say, hey, we need a need in this community. And that's how we began working with Rockdale, and that's how we became kind of acquainted with the people in Gatesville. And I think they also kind of want us to move up towards the Texarkana area. So even though our university's in Corpus, we kind of go where EDA says there's a need. And what this communities as a startup model is, so Russell Frankus, the previous director, kind of developed this, kind of in collaboration to some extent with the IC Squared people at UT Austin. And so, but we're much more applied, practical, results-oriented as opposed to theory-oriented. And I know that IC Squared is, you've got some incredibly smart people that there that work with, communities all over the world, I think. But we're much more into, what are the steps towards coming out with, an action plan that results in quicker results. And so the communities as a startup model, it kind of uses some of the stuff we teach in our business schools. And I've got a strategic management textbook. It's the #1 textbook in the world in strategic management. We're in 7 languages. And so kind of what we do in that textbook is kind of what we're talking about here. Is basically a textbook focused on an organization like a company. But how do you determine, what your opportunities are, what your resources are, what's your envisioned future based on a good fit between external opportunities and internal capabilities. And that's kind of what we do if you look at those first 3 workshops. Is the first workshop focuses on, and when I say workshop, we have a group of stakeholders, and these are all important stakeholders to community. So obviously elected officials, maybe somebody from public works, public safety, independent school district, maybe real estate developer, not too large of a group, but a group that represents all the vital stakeholders in the community. Because once you develop kind of a vision of where we're going, you want buy-in of all of these different stakeholders, because all those stakeholders are going to be important in executing the plan and achieving the results. So, but the first workshop is really just understanding where we are today. What's our current situation? What are our, current economic statistics? And also in the College of Business is the South Texas Economic Development Center. And so Dr. Lee is the director, and he produces these baseline economic reports. So the first step is just having everybody kind of come to an agreement about, here's where we are today. And the next one is where you get into the aspirations. The workshop 2 is really kind of thinking about, okay, over the next 10 years, where do we want to be? What kind of community we want to become? And from our meeting with you before, we already know that you really, Navasota is a wonderful community, and you want to preserve your identity, but you know that there's going to be growth. And I think, so your situation is a little different. Some of these communities are trying to think about how do we survive over the next 10 years. Yours is how do we manage the growth.
Making that next step.
That our people that have lived in Navasota for the last how many ever years still want to live in Navasota, so, which is kind of a good situation to have. But, and then the third one is kind of coming up with more of an action plan. Okay, so we know where we are, we know where we want to go. Let's get buy-in and consensus on how we're going to get there. And then the tools workshops, those 1, 2, and 3, they're the 4th, 5th, and 6th workshops. Those are a little, they're kind of specialized, because after 3, you kind of have an idea, a plan for where you want to go. And I'm not talking about a 100-page business plan. I'm talking maybe, some strategic priorities with maybe some action items under it, not a giant plan that takes months to develop.
Yeah, not a comprehensive plan.
Right. And then so this tools workshop, development of the community model canvas, that's Dr. Bias is a marketing and entrepreneurship professor in the College of Business. And so he does this thing, it's an adaptation of the business model canvas, where you list out your resources and your, kind of the key elements that you have in the community, and kind of figure out, okay, how do we deploy these resources to get to where we want to go? And then also identifying resource gaps, because, there's some elements, some resources that are going to be required to get where you want to go. Well, that workshop allows you to see which ones do we have and which ones are we lacking. And one thing we teach in our textbook, which is kind of, a really strong point, is because you lack a resource, that doesn't stop you from pursuing an objective. You may have to figure out a way to develop that resource, but it doesn't cause you to say, we're not gonna go that route because we can't do it, well, then we have to figure out what parts do we need to have in place, so. This is kind of something that came from work in, the next two are work from, Rockport after Hurricane Harvey, that they found really beneficial. You know, we might could adapt these to what makes sense in your community, but the fifth and sixth workshops were the development of this technology, entrepreneurship. In Rockport, it was arts and a makerspace team center. So through this work with us, Rockport decided they wanted to apply for an EDA grant for this team center, this community center. So they obtained, I don't know, about $1.4 million or something?
It was 1.5, yeah.
Okay, so they received a $1.5 million grant to develop this center, which would focus on kind of technological work skills training, and then entrepreneurship training, kind of what you're doing, and then arts, because Rockport has kind of an arts community, but for some communities, agribusiness makes more sense. And then makerspace, kind of, again, related to, all three of those. But, so that was something Rockport did, so that, you might want to think about that. Something that, it's been funded in the past. Is that something that could be beneficial here? And the next one was also kind of something that resulted from Rockport, was this Talent Connect framework, and it's a little bit like jobs training, but it's also kind of creating a resource of key employers, hired executives, a little, not exactly like SCORE, but, putting these pieces in place to really help build the employment base and connect employees and talent with employers. So that was kind of something that was done there. And the way we do those is, again, that's an area where Dr. Bias has the expertise. So Dr. Bias would do a webinar, and it might be, participants might be from Navasota and Rockdale. And so he could do a webinar, and then Sean and I could come up maybe a couple of days later and then kind of do a hands-on, almost like you're in class working your homework and the teacher's walking around the room. So if you wanted to kind of put together a little action plan on pursuing a team center or Talent Connect framework, then we could be here to kind of assist in doing that. So I think the big takeaway on this program is that we don't tell you what to do, but we're here to facilitate a process to help you identify what it is that you want to do, what's your envisioned future, and what are the key steps to get there. So that's my whole pitch, and there's no, this is all funded by EDA, so, there's no kind of fee involved for A&M Corpus Christi to do this. So, like I said, it's well, after Hurricane Harvey, the work that we did was so impactful there. EDA has kind of asked us to take this to other communities around the state, and actually they even are talking a little bit about Louisiana. So anyway, but that's kind of where we are. And do you have any questions now? And
I think it's important to know, too, we know everyone's busy, so there's a lot of workshops, but we don't want to take up a lot of your time.
Yeah, I'll try to keep, having taught classes, after about an hour and 15 minutes, you start losing everybody's attention. So in these workshops, we kind of envision doing them like an hour and a half, and not wearing people out. And,
Right. That last half hour would be mainly questions, answers, working through things that people might have.
And it's not like content heavy, so what I envision is, you have like a series of, say, 6 probing questions, and you kind of lead the group of participants through the assessment of those 6 questions. So, in that first one about where are we now, well, maybe you look at or we send you the baseline economic data in advance. People have had a chance to look at that, and then you have kind of a series of questions where you get people to analyze that and talk about, where they are, and then 2, having taught classes, we're pretty good at keeping people on on task. So if somebody wants to start talking about this thing over here, totally unrelated to the topics, you know, we kind of get them back, and when you've got an hour and a half, you have to keep people focused. But, so that's a good point, is we're not talking about all-day workshops.
Not all day, not at all. And I know, Raina, you were working through who the key stakeholders would be, so we talked a little bit about them, we listed them here for you to take a look as well, too.
Okay.
And those aren't the only people that would be involved throughout the whole process. After the first 3 fundamental workshops, we'll develop surveys based on the discussions that we've had, and Dr. Bias will assist us in sending those out and gathering information from the community. So those would come from, you know, members of the chamber,
Okay.
different organizations here in town that you want to gather information from to kind of represent the entire community, not just the people that are in the room.
Okay.
So make sure that what they're saying in the room does match up to what people want in the community too. So those surveys will come into play after each one of the workshops.
Okay.
And that's why they're about 3 weeks apart, so that way we can issue those surveys, get the results, and have them ready for the next one after that.
And are these in person? I know that you had mentioned the last one, it's kind of a virtual, but are these in person or virtual?
I think we do them in person.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you look at
We're
our
okay with that.
Zoom up
Yeah.
there, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not reading anybody's body language, you're not, you know, I think when especially if you're facilitating something like that, you need to be able to look at somebody and tell who's tuning out, who's lost, you know, and you can't do that over a Zoom meeting, in my opinion. I haven't seen it.
Okay, I just
No,
want to make sure.
We're hoping it would be that way,
Yeah,
Now,
we're
the one
good
with-
with being in person.
because it's just not the same, obviously.
Well, I think that 4 and 5 would be a webinar where you just log on and watch it, but then we would be here for the hands-on assistance following the webinar.
I'm trying to see when we met last.
It was
Was it
in
July?
the spring, or was the summer maybe, so.
Was it July?
We may have had a phone call over the summer, but the actual physical meeting would have probably been late spring, maybe May, somewhere. I wasn't here yet when y'all had visited.
Okay,
With
so
the center.
the reason I ask is, so I take partial blame for this, but it seems like we hit a brick wall at some point. I don't know if it was because we weren't clear on the mission, and then there was the contacting of people, like you were.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, but,
I
The
think
role changed a little bit too.
yeah, I
I think that's when we hit it, right when your role was switching and.
Yeah, it was in May when we met, and I think it was just really unclear of kind of what was next and how we could get it to work.
okay, so, I'm sorry. Okay, so that being the case, I have to do something different this time around, and I think it's just be more active in pursuing this.
Is this something that would need to go to city council?
You
Like
mean
it-
to get them to approve this whole project?
Or to get them involved?
Well, so the motivation behind the one at Rockport after Hurricane Harvey is that Rockport understood that they could build Rockport back better than it was prior to Hurricane Harvey. So they wanted to make sure they got that right, you know, and so I think, and I don't know who is involved, but I think that would be kind of the outcome here, is having this kind of consensus vision of where we're going, and then some action items for, you know, to drive some type of outcomes, because your situation, in my opinion, is really similar, is that this community will grow, and you want to make sure that when it grows, that it's the kind of place you want it to be. And so where like I said, a lot of communities are just trying to figure out how to survive, but yours, I mean, without kind of strategic approach to managing that growth, it could grow in a way, I think, that you might not be happy with down the road, but.
But they had a blank slate, right? Because Rockport basically was wiped out.
Oh,
So-
parts,
So
yeah.
you're starting almost from, like, they have an opportunity to reinvent themselves completely. We're not in that situation.
Right.
We've already got development happening. We've got companies moving in to the industrial park and to the northern part of the county, so it's not quite the same, we're not in the same situation as them, but,
Right.
so it won't, I mean, to me, it's a different, I see it as different.
It is, and their situation was they're probably not getting larger, they just want to make sure that they can enhance the parts that they really liked and,
Mhm.
you know, but here the growth is coming, so, you know, so.
It is, and we're out of office space, we're out of homes to rent, we're running out of places to develop. I mean, I don't know, that's my take on it. Nevertheless, I mean, I would like to go through the process and see where it lands us, because I do think it's important that we try to direct growth if we can. My mayor,
Yeah, just to get the whole city excited about what could be, you know, what, maybe not have thought that far ahead, you know, or about certain things that, until you collaborate and get together, you don't really know that it's possible.
That's what I was thinking too, you know, getting people from, like, say, somebody from Public Works or Public Safety and all, because they're all part of it, and, you know, that if you've got, you know, a shared vision of what you want to accomplish, that's better than having, you know, the council's got its vision, and the ISD has its vision, and
that's one thing we've had going for us, is that everyone seems to be going the same direction, the school district, the county,
Do you guys
city, the chamber.
have a city plan already, that's a strategic plan, because
Mhm.
you do? So, the intent.
And not economic development plan as
Yeah,
well.
okay, so this would be like a plan, I'm assuming that these are working sessions with actual items that would come out of it. And the insight from the plan, or how this integrates into the plan, potentially might be a benefit, if there's some new things to consider, or, you know, to work through it. Is that kind of the intent you see happening here?
yeah, I think just to ensure that you have a consensus vision of where we're going, and then you have kind of broad strategic themes, as opposed to these detailed action plans, but these strategic themes that we're going to pursue with these desired outcomes. You know,
Do they dovetail with the work they've already done?
well, it should, so,
Yeah.
it should.
That's what I'm trying to say,
Right.
yeah.
But one thing about strategic planning is it should be like a continuous ongoing
Yes, I
thing. So
understand that.
if you have a strategic plan you did 2 years ago, there may be elements of that that are already out of date somewhat. but-
Sure.
So I think it could be kind of additive to what you've done, as opposed to tossing out all of the
Mhm.
previous work.
Mhm.
Well, the school, well, I know you don't want to get into specifics, but I'd love to have someone with the school on this.
Oh, I agree, I think that would be important.
For us, I mean, if there's growth coming, our schools are already
Need
at the
to-
seams,
Mhm.
and,
Independent business owners,
Mhm.
Right.
Those are the
Government.
ones, government.
so
social services.
we've been at this point before, so next
Mhm.
step is to plan for this January meeting, lining up the stakeholders to participate.
The people, yeah.
Am I jumping the gun?
No, so we just looked at our calendar, so we proposed those dates. Obviously, those dates.
I like those days.
We thought it might make it easy if we had some
Tuesdays
dates
are-
ready to go.
Yeah.
Notice I'll be teaching on Wednesdays, and
Tuesday, Wednesday, yep.
so, it kind of works for me.
Mhm.
So those dates were actually picked for my convenience and no one else's, so if they're not good, you just, you know, let us know other dates that are better for you.
Yeah.
I would like a collective way, though, that we can all, if we're gonna be going out, or if, I don't know if it's gonna be different people going to talk to different people about being a part of it, or whether whether you would make the contacts, I don't know, but we wanna make sure that we all kinda have the same, when they say, well, what is this? You know, what is this? You know, what are you doing? Why you wanna meet?
That's what I give them, exactly.
Yep.
Free
Just
will.
'cause people,
That's a pretty one.
we want them to know that it's gonna be worth
Yeah.
time and not just another, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
strategic plan
It's
meeting.
not,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, it's their time, it's
You
a
know?
short amount of time, to get everyone on the same page and moving in the right
These are the
direction.
kind
Yeah,
of things we wanna get out of it.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, your results should be visible fairly
Well, and be
quickly.
clear and concise.
Clear,
yeah.
concise,
Well, the-
visible.
My philosophy is, well, so as dean, we more than doubled the size of the college business in 8 years, and my thought has been, is that if I'm gonna pursue something, you know, it's like a strategic planning thing, I wanna see the results of it. I don't wanna just go waste time and pontificate and have everybody's opinion, everybody leaves, and that's the end of it, you know, so.
I was gonna ask you, what are some specific tangible things that happened in Rockport that came from it?
Well, I think they wanted to really, you know, Rockport, it was kind of a retirement community with some vacation homes, and I think they wanted to really go beyond that to make it a place where they could cultivate, you know, like some tech-oriented businesses, and they also tried to get a broadband loop to make that easier, and so they wanted to kind of make it more of as just a sleepy retirement community into some place that would
Or
attract.
regional, or.
And attract younger people too, because, I mean, if you've got a population that's heavy on retirees, well, that's really not good for economic development, because I mean, I guess some of the wealthy retirees are spending a lot of money in the community, but a lot of retirees are on fixed income.
That storm about wiped them out. I mean, it was
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it did. And so that's, I think, why they wanted this team center, and then they wanted this Talent Connect, because they were trying to drive like new business creation and that type of thing, as opposed to just.
Is it like an incubator kind of thing, or is it a?
Well, I don't know. I think their version of it is more of this, more like jobs training, and then this maker space, and then also this arts thing, because obviously, I guess, you know, they have an art festival, and that's kind of part of their culture, is that arts community, so it's kind of a.
Because we got a good relationship with Blinn,
That's right.
and also our, obviously, Workforce Solutions and through the COG, but, we have for a long time wanted to try to get more training here. Not in Bryan, not in College
Right.
Station, not in Houston, here.
And that's what they did.
And that's something that I think y'all would all agree is definitely a need for. The school's they're getting on, they're moving on with their CTE in a big way. Passed a big bond, and we've got great things going on at the high school, but we need that part for the adults, you know, that.
Well, I know, because our work with Blinn at Relish, I mean, I know that's something that's real important. Actually, that was supposed to be a big part of Relish, was that craft training, you know, for electrical, plumbing,
Right.
heating and air conditioning, and it never really took off.
Right.
I remember that. But the problem with Relish, though, is it's 40 miles away.
Yeah, I know.
Remington, one way, 40 miles.
Yeah.
And Blinn is, 28 miles or something like that, so.
Well, and I think you've got to make it convenient for people too. And that, with what they were gonna do at Relish, I thought made sense, because it was gonna be these almost like electrical boot camp, where you weren't gonna spend 2 years in that program. You were going, I mean, it was all compressed so that you were gonna you could get out on the job market quickly.
Right.
And so I think the model was really good, but I don't think it was ever implemented, or it never took off, but.
Because at like high school, for example, they've implemented where you can get your welding certificate when you graduate high school. So you go straight to work. And it's taken a long time for them to realize this, that not everybody goes to college, you know.
Right.
It's finally they get it.
Well, there's a lot of high-income trades out there, you know, where you can.
Oh, God, yes. The electricians right now, I mean, they're just begging, you know, everybody's begging for them. And
HVAC.
these professional people that they can write their own, I mean,
Right.
they do very well. They make them on their own and set their own hours, and, you know, So, anyway.
Okay,
Next steps.
next steps. Do we shoot for that January 22nd meeting?
18th.
January 18th?
You got the 22nd, that's the year.
That's March 22nd. January 18th.
2022nd.
So then,
Where do these meetings take place?
I was thinking probably Navasota Center,
Mhm.
because the way that we could set it up is like the strategic planning that we did earlier this year. Because it was just like the round table, so it's not like the council chambers. Yeah, and then, but what would the time be? Would it be a bit during business hours or afterwards? And I don't know what everybody else's schedule is.
Free on Tuesday, so we were thinking like immediately before lunch or after lunch? What were you
Yes,
thinking?
immediately before lunch or right after lunch, so that way they could come for that hour, hour and a half, break for lunch and get back to work.
The problem with doing it after lunch is if they eat a big lunch, they're not going to,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do it, say, 10:30 to noon.
That's what we were thinking.
Does that sound
Give
okay?
you time to get in the office,
I
get a
think
couple
most
things
people could
done,
work with that.
break for this hour, grab a lunch, and then head back into the office, so you don't waste the entire day.
Yeah,
It's
just
just like
whenever-
heading out for another meeting.
Whenever we're
grabbing
talking to
lunch
the
and heading
people,
out.
make sure they understand that so that they'll, you know, that it'll always be at the same time.
It'll always be at the same time, keeping it at the same location works as well too.
Mhm.
Well, but I agree with Johnny with the big importance of getting the school district involved. Would
Yeah.
that be an issue with superintendent, assistant
It shouldn't be.
superintendent,
It shouldn't be.
breaking off for the hour?
No.
I mean, they're gonna
Okay.
send,
It shouldn't be because they can set the time. I mean, they can,
Okay, I just,
it's not like a teacher where they have to,
yeah,
certain time.
no, so,
Yeah.
Now, would you want someone from Blinn too, and concerning this, or workforce solutions, or, I mean, what?
Then, yeah, Blinn or Workforce, they would be good as well too to have.
who are we talking to at Glen nowadays? Because
Well, there's the workforce person, I think the workforce training person has changed, and there's the GED person, and there's, you know, Mary,
Philip Shackelford?
he's on the foundation board.
I know their provost, if you want, if you want me to send him an email, so.
Was Jay Anderson? He was sort of the head of that.
He's not in the same position.
And David's gone, David Yeager's gone.
Yeah. But you're right, though, those were the ones, you know, Dave Yeager was over the Hody Center, which was the, you know, the job training.
So, who's
Maybe,
the-
yeah, well, like you said, if you know the provost, they
Yeah.
would probably know the person that would be.
And he may be the person, because he's the vice president, now, he may be just the vice president of all the more academically oriented programs.
Yeah.
But he could, whoever his counterpart is, I could ask him, so.
I would think it would be more so from there, well, or more so from there, because our Workforce Solutions is gonna use Blend, so I don't know that you really need both, probably just the Blend side.
Blinn is, you know, my experience with them, they're very entrepreneurial, and they're growth oriented, and I would think if you get the right people here, might get what you want, and, because,
I think so.
I mean, I've never seen Blinn walk away from an opportunity, you know, they're,
Right, so Delmar's the one really helping Rockport with their teen center and getting them set up and facilitating all the courses there at their
well, that's a
center,
real
so-
good point, is that team center,
Mhm.
it might even be run by Blinn, you know,
yeah.
I mean,
This one, the one in Rockport's gonna be run by Delmar, and Workforce Solutions, yep. So having them, and they, once they hear it, they may say, this is a perfect opportunity that we're looking for, so.
'Cause didn't we make kind of a tentative list of some, of
We did.
people to bring in
Yeah.
on this?
So, we start contacting again and set them up for the 18th.
mhm.
And how many people are ideal?
I don't know, 15-ish, or what do you think? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
12 to 15, don't wanna get into the 20s, 25s,
No,
that'll be
no.
too many.
Yeah.
So 12 to 15 is always good,
I think
even if it's.
12 would be a good number.
Okay.
Go with that.
Mhm. Just one key person from those areas, because
Yeah.
remember, we'll send out those surveys afterwards.
Yeah,
You know, so start thinking about, you know, those, what email lists do you have in the community, the people we could contact that would reach everyone here?
okay.
That would be one of the other thing to work on hand in hand right now, is developing your list, as well as who do you wanna get the word out to as well.
Okay.
Yeah, 12, that's a small enough number too, that everybody knows they gotta be prepared. They're not gonna just let somebody else carry it for them. I mean, so.
Yeah, I went to a meeting like that the other day, they were talking about, education, health needs. Were you down there in Anderson? The health needs?
No, I've been on it before, though.
So.
Health needs assessment.
35 people in there, and what an impressive group of people. And I didn't have to say anything. And they all had great ideas, and they knew what was going on. I was like, this is great, I don't have to say a word.
Great.
Happy to
Keep
participate.
going.
Yeah, that was, A&M does that, don't they? Or the
It was
Health Science Center?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Rain and I can stay in contact with you to help
Yeah,
with anything you need.
Okay.
You need help contacting people, questions about anything, times, locations,
okay.
I'm available.
That sounds good.
I'm ready to push
And then
forward.
if you want to, like, maybe the week before, if you want us to come up and kind of meet in person and kind of
Okay.
go through some of the details, we can do that if you want to do that.
And what do you-
Set
what
the
do you need
agenda
to
and
make-
stuff.
Do you need a projector and a screen, do you need whiteboards, do you need?
I mean, I think a projector and a screen, but we'll try to steer, not use that a whole lot, but if, there's some background information we want to go over, we can. But then also, I think one of those flip charts with the easel, so some the markers.
Markers,
And so those are always helpful, because what I like to do is write down people's comments,
Sure.
and.
Okay.
What's the ultimate goal that we want to get out of this?
My thought is to have kind of a consensus vision for where we want to be in, say, 10 years, and then a list of strategic priorities based on the issues that we identify, with some expected outcomes. And then if there's a grant for the teen center or something, well, then that's good too, but mainly just the kind of the.
It could be different things,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So I think identify these issues, develop these strategic priorities based on those issues, and then a set of outcomes, so that, let's say we identify there's 5 strategic issues, and we're gonna have a plan for each one of those, and here's our expected outcome for each one of those 5. And then maybe, if you wanna apply, if there's an opportunity to apply for grant funding on something, then that's good too, but.
Once we get there, then we can
Y'all-
start seeing what's available.
Y'all will know what doors
Mhm.
that can be opened for that kind of thing.
Right.
Mhm. Once we get to that area, then we can see what EDA has available at that time.
I just think it's gonna be really good to get everybody in the same room talking about it.
Now, one person she was in charge of the COG, or, because you may want her there.
Yeah, I wrote her down
Yeah,
on it.
because I think the way
Madison?
Madison?
that, Madison, that's right. So the way that funding, what we saw,
Different Madison.
Rockford, I think the way those funding opportunities come about is that the person at the COG calls somebody at the EDA and says, hey, and then.
This is what we're doing, this is what they got going.
Yeah, I've already been talking to Madison about EDA stuff, and I'll
Good.
send her ideas,
Good.
and she calls her contact.
And I
So
do-
she's-
Yeah.
She's been a
Yeah.
good resource.
So this will be perfect.
I do know under this ARPA thing, and it may be too late, I don't know, but they were telling us that they've got to provide more funding than they've ever provided in the history of EDA through ARPA. I can't remember the numbers.
I
but
can't
they
remember the
were-
numbers either, but if you've been in touch
We'll be
with
begging you to apply
Madison,
for.
she would
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
The
she's been
very,
billions of
good.
dollars
So she's
they've
been
got a-
sending you that.
Wow.
Good.
They got it.
award, so,
Wow, that's a tough task.
And but I do know that just from our working with EDA, they're not the kind of people that like to just throw away money. They like to see something tangible with it.
Is there anything that I can contribute or be prepared to do coming out of small business development?
Well, obviously, I think that small business support is a critical part of it. And, you know, I know with our Innovation Center, we try to provide support to entrepreneurial startups and so, you know, we've also, so we have like, part of our program in Corpus is we have different workshops to help small businesses and help startups. So just two of the ones that I think are kind of home run events is we will have one that's called Where's the Money? And so we bring in everything from traditional banks to venture capital to angel investors to micro lenders. And it's kind of like almost like a speed dating for people that need money for their business. And every year we do that, we have participants who they're funded by the end of that day, or they've got their funding kind of nailed down. So that's like a home run thing that I think you could do. And we do another one for veterans. It's through SBA. It's called Boots to Business Reboot.
Familiar with that.
And, you know, so I mean, I think those are good programs for SBDC.
Well, I assume you're gonna be part of the 12 that are gonna be
Yes,
with us.
yes. I just
Okay.
wanted to be prepared. I wanted to get ready. I mean,
Yeah.
So if there was any other data points, you know, that statistical data,
Partners that
anything
you
like
might have that could bring in too
Yeah,
as well.
I'm gonna be thinking about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
In terms of that, you know, if people are looking for insight at the meetings, so, okay,
Okay,
I'm with you.
that's good.
So I wrote down a list of potential people, just looking at this, because I know that when we put the list together at an EDC meeting a while back, we didn't include like public works, public safety, and so just listing out from here, I think we're already at like 15. But, so these are just ideas, but, so Madison with the BV cog, Bert, Donnie, Dylan, Jasmine and myself, Jen, because she's over Public Works, Jason with Fire, Sean with PD, Kathy Prescott, because she had shown an interest and she's with EDC and she's in real estate.
And business
Okay.
owner, yeah.
I was thinking, I didn't know if we wanted to include two from the school district, so you said Dr. Brewer, or who's the CTE director?
Frank?
Yeah, if we wanted to include,
Tracy's curriculum,
okay,
didn't she?
Yes.
so could we include?
And Ronnie's more like,
Facilities or something.
like facilities, bus drive, you know, buses and things, transportation and things like that, so I think Tracy would be a good.
Yeah.
Frank's already on the COG board, and, I mean, he's on I'm on the workforce board. And I don't know, I don't know. Tracy hadn't had a chance to really get involved in anything, so I think Tracy would be a good choice.
And so not both of them, not Tracy and Frank, or just Tracy?
Yeah.
I think just Tracy, she's gonna have the knowledge of the whole district, you know,
Okay.
and everything going on.
And then I was gonna also talk to Steve, possibly Lupe, since he's development services.
Yeah, Lupe'd be good, yeah.
And so that puts us at. Oh, and Glenn, so that puts us at 13, whoever we could get from,
Lucky 13.
Do you need industrial
that's what I was thinking too.
someone who's willing to share?
Because you don't have anybody non-city
What about healthcare?
or EDC really besides, or like major businesses. You got Kathy with real estate, but she's,
I think John Price, from the NOV. John Price or Kathy Baldovino, although she doesn't tend to speak over it. You know John Price?
Well, there's the lady that,
they represent the entire.
what's the one that's out at Trinity, that she runs the LEPC? She's real active, I mean, she's real,
Michelle Hopper.
yeah,
Who's that NIS?
she's the Trinity.
Staff, family, they're the owners. I mean, they represent a lot of industrial.
as a supplier, I don't know if they would be.
Oh, industrial supply, yeah.
Got a lot of connections with not just one, not just LB, but all of them.
Probably wanna have a couple in mind in case one's not able to commit.
Right.
You'll have a backup.
Mhm.
Michelle, you think?
She's over safety, right?
She's over HR.
HR, okay. But it's a manufacturing at Trinity, right?
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think?
Sure. I mean, I can only think of people I know.
I mean, she's shown that she's willing to, you know,
To just,
not just say they'll do the 10 and then not show up, you know.
but, I mean, we never had those folks active in anything.
Yeah, that's wrong, I don't know anything they're active in.
So maybe they appreciate being asked. I
I
just,
mean, may not wanna do the same old people, you know,
Right.
they can, like, expand it to somebody
I
that,
know pretty well.
well, maybe that'd be one that they would reach out to.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So you have, wasn't it a key group we're missing? Yeah, small business and real estate. Oh, health.
I was gonna say health.
Healthcare.
healthcare.
There's a office manager at Baylor Scott and White Clinic who said to me that she wanted to be more active in the community. So, I can't recall her name right now, but, it wasn't long ago she said that, so she might be willing to tap. I used to go over there and,
Okay.
yeah, I can visit there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well,
That sounds-
You got financial down here.
financial,
Money man.
We don't need that.
hospitality,
Hospitality? Got a car?
yes,
The Best Western.
yes.
He'll try to make us eat Indian food, though.
It's great.
Is it?
He's invited me.
He's invited me 3 or 4 times, and I just can't. I just haven't been able to.
Every time, I'm like, I'm blown away.
Okay, well, you go
You're
with
getting
my.
close to the 20 now.
go-
Yeah, we're at 15.
Well, you know, someone may not accept and,
Yeah.
you know, think on it. Once you've got your list, kind of plot it out
Yeah.
and look at it.
You're gonna want them
See
to
if
be able to
anyone
commit to the
crosses-
dates too, you know.
See if anyone crosses over. We'll run into someone, wary to commit to all of the dates ahead of time. But be sure to tell them some of them will be webinars as well too, so.
Okay.
That'll help. But yeah, you'll likely maybe have 1 or 2 that can't commit. But then you might have a couple people too that make recommendations for others. So you might be prepared for that wiggle room as well. Once you talk to them about the project, they'll say, oh, but what about so-and-so that did this? So that pops up every once in a
Sure.
while,
Okay.
which may be a good addition, you never know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you have
Thank you.
extras of those?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can
and I
scan
sent
that.
it, well,
Yeah,
I
I have
sent it
it.
electronically already, but I just printed some to bring today
Okay.
for now. And then you can, if you want me to make any additions to this, if you want me to add the date somehow, move some things around to this, I can work on,
And that'd be something we could send to them if they wanted something.
Yeah.
To look at.
do you want me to add the dates
Yeah.
for these workshops here? I'll rearrange this table to fit here and
Yeah.
Okay.
the basic information, so I can do that.
The TV screen is freaking me out because it's like a 20-second lag. So I put my hands up.
Sorry.
My hands don't go
Okay. So I'll send you a third version.
Okay.
So you'll have both, one with space and one without, and you can use whatever you prefer.
And I will get in touch with Dr. Basiki at Glenn and find out who we need to talk to there, so.
Great.
Thank you.
This one I hadn't sent you electronically, do you want a couple more names? Or I can send it to you electronically.
Yeah, if you could send it electronically.
Jake Anderson,
Okay.
David Yeager, and Phil Shackelford.
Phil's with the Blinn Foundation, I know that much. He's involved in scouting too.
Because right around COVID, when, in early 2020, those guys all seemed to disperse. I haven't heard from anyone
That one.
since.
Yeah.
I almost called the police for missing persons, because they just have no.
I talked to Phil fairly recently, yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for having us today. I'm glad we could touch base again to get everything back rolling, and we can